Welcome to Sideline Sports Podcast. If you're not on the sideline, it's not Sideline Sports Podcast. What is going on, everybody? Welcome to another installment of Sideline Sports Podcast. I am the host, Alex Naveja, where if you're not on the sideline, it's not Sideline Sports Podcast, getting you the coverage of all SoCal sports here. And if you guys are enjoying all the content we're throwing up here, please give it a thumbs up, comment down below what you guys want to see, and also hit the subscribe button down below. This is just the beginning of some great content that is coming. We're always trying to get you the greatest content out there on a weekly basis. And how about some social media coverage as well? Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter, trying to get you all the coverage and try to get you guys informed with everything going on here in the SoCal scene, not just in the pro sports, but in the NCAA, high school, maybe even minor leagues, taking a break from pro coverage here in this one, because on my left-hand side, he's been on the show here, folks. If you guys recognize the face, you're a longtime Sideline Sports podcaster. He is Justin Almeda. What's going on, Justin? He's going to be heading on over to Colorado Mesa University. What's going on, man? Long time no see.
Hey, what's up, Alex? Yeah, long time no see. It's been a while since I've been on the show.
I know it's been a long time, and I think the last time you were here, it was post-COVID, and you were telling me about how you were trying to rebound from Tommy John and how you're trying to make that big comeback, because that's always been a question mark for baseball players when they get Tommy John. Are they going to come back the same? Are they going to come back better? Are they even going to come back to the game? So it's been some time, man.
Yeah, it's been some time. It's been a great journey. It's gone great so far. You know, although there's been adversity throughout it, but we're still here. I'm still trying to keep playing ball and going to school. So I'm grateful I can still play baseball.
Not a lot of guys could say that they can. I mean, Justin played at Cerritos College, and during this time there, with the grind of coming back from Tommy John surgery, he actually received a scholarship to play over at Colorado Mesa University, some D2 action over there. But first off, I want to say, Justin, congratulations on that scholarship, on that opportunity to continue your baseball career and go into the NCAA level. That is going to be a huge jump from the CCCAA to now the NCAA level.
Thank you. I really appreciate it, Alex. Yeah, it's a big jump, but you know, it's something I'm ready for. I'm ready to compete for a great team and a great coaching staff and just overall great culture that's over there. I'm just really excited and blessed.
Absolutely, man. I mean, I just got to ask, why Colorado Mesa University? I'm sure you had other offers. Why did you choose there?
To be honest, I never really thought about playing like D2 baseball. Like everybody's mindset's always to play D1. And to be honest, like that mindset changed really quick when after my first year at Cerritos, my first year pitching, I was trying to figure out where I wanted to go, how I wanted to, go about trying to hit up schools, and I hit up about 25 to 30 D1 schools, and probably got only one email back, and they told me like, hey, you never really, stopped your clock and everything. You don't have enough, credits for D1 anymore. My research and, like I've heard of Colorado Mesa before. I never really did my research on it. 30 minutes, I got an email back, and like that really stuck to me. That like, usually like coaches would take a couple of days, maybe a couple of weeks email back, but like the fact that like I got an email like really quick, like it was just like it was always Colorado Mesa. It was never really any other school. Like they've showed their interest since the start, and I was just like, like it just felt that comfort knowing like they were really on it, and it's always been them.
Okay. I mean, for me, it's always like, hey, if you're interested in me, you're going to answer right away. Like, it's got to be a mutual thing. I'm interested in you guys, and the fact that I'm reaching out, taking the time to send out an email to you, I would very much like the same thing. I'd like for you to reach out to me very quick as well. And I understand, like, Division I guys, a lot of Division II programs around here in the SoCal scene. A lot of the coaches are busy, but hey, man, like, come on, like I know what I could bring to the table. Like I know I can still pitch in that next level and all, but I think one question is, what were a couple of the Division I programs that you reached out to and some Division IIs? Because I think you wanted to go to Oregon or Oregon State. I think that was the last time you and I had talked, right?
Yeah, I mean, Oregon State it's always been a dream school of mine, since I was little. Um, I probably, I got emailed back by Santa Barbara. I had a little contact with Long Beach State and Fullerton, but it was never really nothing that was like, oh, we're thinking about offering you. It was just like some sort of dialogue. Um, and Division II schools, honestly, Colorado Mesa, and Cal State Dominguez Hills, um, were the only two schools. But I mean, like, I did my research on Colorado Mesa, and it's just like it started feeling at home once I started looking. And honestly, it was like, the coaches think I can play at the next level there. Then I just put a video together of all my highlights, for my season to summer ball, and you just sent it, hoping, they're in Colorado, so they just can't come drive over here and just check me out. So I was just like, hopefully they like what they see on video, and maybe I can, get a little interest or something. And when he emailed me back, we started emailing, we called, he talked to one of my coaches, and he told me if I wanted to come out for a visit. So I went on a visit, and I threw in front of them, and they liked what they saw. So it's from day one. It was always like that good connection, and it was never like, oh, they were leading me on or anything. And I think the biggest part of why I fell in love with Colorado Mesa was just how they treated me throughout the process. They never made me feel like, oh, there's more options. Like, like they were really interested in me from the start. And after throwing for them, they liked what they saw, and they offered me about a week later. And like I didn't even take a day to think about it. I was just like, yeah, I'm down. Like, let's do it.
Heck yeah, that's the way to do it, man. As soon as you find that one that makes you feel good, I mean, why not make that jump? And I mean, you're still going out of state, and you're gonna get to experience a whole another state and a whole new way of life, man. I mean, I think where exactly in Colorado is Colorado Mesa?
Um, it's in Grand Junction, Colorado. They
Okay,
actually, well, their previous home field, they held the JUCO NJAC World Series there every year.
okay.
It's about 20 miles off the Utah border. It's a small
Mm,
little college town. The Indieball team I think plays there, the Jackalopes.
yeah.
Yeah, they play at Simplicio Field. I think that's what it's called. So
Okay.
it's a small town, but it's pretty known throughout the country. Through the baseball industry. NJAC World Series, the Jackalopes play there, and the well-known Colorado Mesa played there for a bit.
Okay. I mean, you still have some pro ball there. I mean, some indie ball there. Former Grand Junction Rockies. They used to be an affiliate of the Colorado Rockies, but I mean, you still get some pro ball there. I mean, who knows what could happen there? I mean, you maybe find your way in indie ball there. I mean, is that something you've maybe considered at all, or?
I mean, all options on the table, especially when you get the chance to play baseball at the next level and keep, being able to just having that opportunity to play baseball. I think just keeping your options open and never feeling like like you're better than anything else, because like the game will humble you, and it's been humbling the past couple of years for me. And I took it with a grain of salt, and I kept it in mind, and just kept working hard. And wherever I'm at, like, just give your best attitude, effort, and energy.
I mean, that that's a good mindset to have. I mean, you never know what could happen. I mean,
Yeah.
you after your season is done, you go check out some Jackalope games. You go say what's up to the coach. You introduce yourself, and you let him know, hey, I'm playing ball locally, close to you guys. I mean, I'm ready for that contract whenever you need me to sign it. I mean, I'll bring the pen, I'll sign it, and I could play ball right there. I mean, that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, that would be pretty cool. The goal is always, to play at the highest level possible, but just like keeping the options open, and you know, be able to put pen to paper and being able to get paid while you play.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, that to be able to even continue your career in the pro level, that's even more of a dream come true. I mean, sometimes for guys, it ends in the community college level, it ends in the NCAA level. But I mean, if you can even make it even further than that,
Right.
that's pretty insane too.
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely. Yeah, like a lot of guys, their careers end at a JUCO level, but so like knowing I'm able to play at at the next level on scholarship, like it's just a blessing. It's very humbling. It just it makes at least personally for me, it just makes want to go even harder and just keep going. Till the brakes fall off.
Okay. I mean, that's it. That's the right mentality to have. I mean, you got to keep going until the game tells you, hey, you can't play anymore, champ. I mean, that's it. Like you're done. It's a wrap. Fortunately, you got to be a big boy and you got to hit the big boy life and start the career. Got to start the jale all over again. But have you already started the moving in process? Have you already found a place to live? Have you found is that already all done and taken care of, or what
Yeah,
are the next steps for you?
I take off in about 3.5, 3 weeks. Yeah, everything's already pretty much set up. I'm gonna live in a house with a couple other like 2 or 3 other guys. It's a nice little house. Nice little backyard. Kind of got everything already set up. Just pack up the clothes. Don't even gotta take anything. Just take the clothes with me and just drive down there.
That's nice.
I got everything set up already. It's a very at first it was a very stressful, like not stressful process, but just knowing I was at JUCO for so long and then moving to university and just having to do all these things for classes and everything. At first I thought it was gonna be an overwhelming process, but just like knowing that I got everything done already, got my place and everything, just show up and just put my clothes away and just kind of get ready for school and baseball and just get right after it.
Hey man, please tell me you got a couple of like Eskimo jackets ready to go, because I mean that the Colorado winters are no joke, man. You got to be ready for the cold winters, ready to shovel up the driveway and putting salt on the driveway and get ready for the snow, man. That's no joke. You got to be ready. You can't be pulling up like that. Like in December's in
Yeah, for
California, you could be
real.
in shorts and just a short sleeve shirt.
No, yeah. I think when I went out there for my visit in November, I think it was like the second week of November. It was cold. I remember I threw a bullpen. It was 35 degrees. I was
No
in like
way, what?
I was in leggings, I was in a long sleeve, and I told myself like I'm gonna get a good little warm up in, and Colorado's a higher elevation. I was gonna do about 10 sprints. Like after 2 or 3 sprints, I was out of breath. I was like, all right, I think my body's warmed. But yeah, it was cold. I remember I went out to eat with some of the guys, and we stayed out till about 12:01, and we walk outside, and it's like 24 degrees or
Oh
28
my
degrees
God,
Celsius,
that's nuts.
freezing, and like these guys are walking out with like short sleeves, and they're just like, I'm just like, damn, like I'm just a little SoCal kid, I'm chilling between 65 to 75 degrees. Anything after that is like,
I'm hot or I'm cold.
yeah. So I'm gonna have to take my Mexican cobijas out there and everything.
Heck yeah, with the tigres on it, the
Yeah, I got
tigers on
them
them. You
here.
have to have them ready, man. You got to take them all with you. That's going to consist of most of your weight when you're on the flight. They're like, "Oh, what's in your luggage, sir?" "Oh, I got all my blankets with the tigers on it, like Tony the Tiger and all this. Hey, you got to be ready, man, because the winters out
Yeah.
there, they're no joke."
Yeah, I mean, I already like to pitch with long sleeve, like no matter how cold or hot it is, like I'm gonna be wearing a long sleeve, like no matter. That's just how I pitch. But yeah, I'm gonna have to pack some thermals for under my baseball pants. Try to get an NIL deal with some hand warmers or
There
something.
you go. Yeah.
I'm just trying to find a way.
Hey man, you got the right mentality. The NIL deal, the thermals. The thermals are gonna save your life, man. Trust. Like it's gonna save your life. If anything, you're gonna probably have to wear some like pitching gloves or something like that, man, just to kind of get NCAA to pass on that. I mean, hey man, it's cold out here. Like a guy's got to try to get warm some way, somehow, or something.
Yeah,
But
I'm gonna have to take my Abuelita chocolate for the
yes,
5 a.m. wake.
yes. Hey man, wait. Big question. Ibarra or Abuelita? I mean, you're bringing up Abuelita. That's Nestle, but Ibarra, that's the real Mexican stuff.
Uh, I've always been a Abuelita. Just like seeing the Abuelita on the little cover, it just makes it makes it feel right with some birot or bolillo.
Hey man, you better find those little spots so you can still have like your bolillos, have your frijoles, your carne asada, your arroz.
Yeah,
Hey man, you
I
gotta
have
find the
to.
ways to stay consistent with it, man. You can't change the diet out of nowhere.
Yeah, for real, for real. I gotta keep the little Mexican spice in there.
There you go. And then you still better keep the Almeda. It better not be no Almeda or nothing like that. You're still Justin Almeda. You still have to
Almeda.
keep the accent in some way.
I gotta let them know it's Almeda, not Almeida.
Yeah, put the emphasis on it for the PA announcer. Make sure they add a little salsita on the tacos. Like, no way. You have to keep the accent, man. So like the big question I have too is, I mean, you said this is a small college town. How far is it from Denver? I mean, I know you're gonna want to go visit the Mile High City, maybe go check out a Rockies game, go see the losing Mets play at Coors Field. Hopefully, you caught my little joke in there. But how far is Denver from there?
It's about like a 3 hour, 3.5 hour drive. It's not far, but it's a little drive to enjoy. I mean, maybe head out with some of the boys and go on a little trip or something. But yeah, it's not that far at all.
Okay. Yeah, I think that'd be a pretty dope idea. Go check out Coors and go check out like the big city. Maybe stay for a quick weekend. I
I
think
was
that
actually
might.
I was actually thinking about trying to catch a Packers Broncos game out there. So I'm a big Packers fan. So
Ooh, there you go.
that'd be great.
I think that might be more of a likelihood because it's during your guys' off season and maybe you guys aren't going to work during the weekend or something. You go catch a game real quick.
That'd be really dope. I've been to one Packers game here in LA and they lost, so I wanna see them win a game. It'll be rough without Aaron Rodgers, but I think we can do it.
I mean, yeah, we'll see what the new Packers team is going to look like, man. I mean, you got Jordan Love. He's got some snaps in the previous years, but we'll see what's in store. I mean, if they play the Broncos, I mean, they've got a new coaching staff and Sean Payton, so it's interesting to see what's going to go down with that. But last summer, you moved out also to play some summer ball there. Tell me a little bit about that, man. Tell me what that experience was like. You got a taste of what it was like to move away from home and play some ball.
Yeah, it happened really quick. I got a phone call from a coach and he asked me, what were my summer plans, what I was doing. I was just telling him like I'm just training right now, like, my arms, keeping the arm fresh. But and he asked me if I wanted to head to play for the Northwoods. And I kind of heard of the Northwoods a little bit. I had a friend play out there for the Duluth Huskies, but I never really had much knowledge of it. So I did my research and like I looked it up, and I didn't realize how big it was until I searched it up and did some research. Um, but it was an amazing experience. I got there literally. I mean, honestly, it's the 28th. Yeah, I got there and I got to the field. They set me up with a locker with my jersey and everything. It was an unreal experience. It was like the closest I've ever gotten to like pro ball atmosphere. The fans, the signing autographs. Pitching, pitching on TV. Just facing big time players from big time schools. It was definitely a big jump for me, but it was something that I was willing to do. It was no harm, no foul for me. If it was just more of an experience and try to build myself as a pitcher, that I was still learning and still am. Playing against guys who play at universities who go to the College World Series a lot. Playing against guys across the country. There's guys from Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic, Mexico. Playing in those leagues. So it's just kind of playing like that's the closest I've ever gotten to like MLB atmosphere type in a way, and just like playing in front of a large amount of crowds, like it was at first it was a little nerve wracking because I've never pitched in front of a big crowd, especially college baseball here. It's not really as popular as it is down south or more east. Um, so it was just like wow, like like you just had to really like control your breathing and just worry about just you and the catcher and like those are experiences that I will carry with myself forever, and I carry those experiences with a lot of knowledge and a lot of growing for them because that's it's something that's helped me be where I am now, just with confidence and knowing if my stuff is good enough to be at the next level. It was a good assessment to see where I'm at with the guys that can play at the next level. So it was an unreal experience. And on top of that, I played with such a we were a winning team. With them, we broke the Northwoods League record in wins in a season. I think we went 58-13 or something like that.
Wow.
and
Heck yeah.
we lost in the semifinal. We lost on a walk-off bomb in extra innings. So, we almost made it to the ship. It was an unreal experience, just mingling with players from, across the country and around the world. Like, it was an unreal experience and something I would do again. I couldn't do it this summer. I had a lot of innings on my arms over the last year, so I just kind of want to let my arm rest and just keep it healthy for Colorado Mesa because that's my main focus right now. And if see how the season goes, and if we'll see if I'm back out there next year.
That's a pretty dope experience. I mean, the Northwoods League, they don't just let anybody play in the Northwoods League. It's kind of like those prospect leagues where they've got to ask you, even the Cape Cod League, that they've got to go to you and ask you and invite you to play in the Northwoods League. And I mean, the media coverage there is insane. I mean, like you said it before, there wasn't a whole lot of media coverage there in Cerritos. I mean, maybe you got like 1 or 2 games streamed by maybe Jonathan Rifkin or Jonah, guys that have streamed guys for you or streamed the games for you guys. But I mean, the fact that you got some media coverage, you got a crowd who's actually showing up and you're making some noise. I mean, it's a little bit of a different experience, man. What state was this in?
It was in Wisconsin. It's about 3 hours from Chicago. We're at the little town, Wisconsin Rapids. It's a small town, really small town.
Ah, okay, okay. What team was it?
The Wisconsin Rapid Raptors.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, I know which team you're talking about now. Okay, that's cool. And what was the city life there? Was it just like small town vibes, college vibes too, or what were
Oh
they like
no,
over there?
no, it was a whole like completely different cultural shock for me. Like, they had this one Mexican restaurant called La Taqueria, and I kid you not, I ate there every single day because
Yeah.
I did not like venison or I didn't like the food. 'Cause I stayed with the host family. You stay with host families there, so
Oh, okay.
depending the host family you get, like sometimes you get a host family, that treats you well, or like you get stuck with the host family where you're just staying there, got somewhere to just stay, and you're on your own. So I had a really good host family. They took care of me. They would buy me groceries and stuff like that, and I was really grateful for them. Just like sometimes like when they would, like, oh, we're gonna cook venison tonight, like, when you get home from the game, and I was just like venison's like really not my type of appetite. Like, throw a little chuleta on there or a
There you go.
carne asada, but like it was a very different vibe. Like just like the people too, like when they would ask like where I was from, and I would tell them Los Angeles, they would be like, oh man, like this must be like really different for you because it was nothing but lakes, little small mom and pop shops, like nothing too crazy. The end of the city ended like 3 miles, like like it was a really small town and everybody knew each other, so like if they knew if you played for the Wisconsin Rapid Raptors, and like they would always like like cheer you on like you're on the street or something, or like they would like be like ask for a picture or something, and just kind of like living that type of life. It just kind of like it expanded my mind, like damn, like people actually live in these type of small little towns, like they don't really know like what a big city life is. And I never knew what a small city life was until I experienced that. And it's really cool how like different life is around the country.
I mean, you're basically like a pro ball, man. Pro ball player. You're like a celebrity. People see you, they're like, "Oh my God, it's Justin
Yeah,
Almeda. He will. God, need to go take a picture. He need an autograph." I mean, that's like you said, that's the closest thing to pro ball. And I mean, everybody, the fact that they know who you are and all of that, it kind of reminds you of like a small little pueblo in Mexico. It's like that
yeah,
type of vibe, kind of, right?
yeah, yeah. Definitely,
Um,
it was a cool little vibe.
So now that we talked a little bit about Colorado Mesa, you're going to have that new grind coming and talk a little bit about summer ball and your time over there in Wisconsin. We never really got to talk about your Cerritos time. And I mean, last year was a bit of a tough year for the Birds. And I mean, how was it for you personally? I mean, we could talk about not being it for Cerritos, but what about you personally as a pitcher?
I mean, me personally, I mean, I'm like we both like. I mean, like now, like I'm a pitcher now. Like I've never pitched, before college, or like even my first year at college. Like after TJ, like they wanted me to pitch, or like the old coaching staff that recruited me wanted me to pitch. So I just kept going with that. My first year at Cerritos was actually kind of like more nervous. The 2022 season, I was it was a little bit of still question marks in a lot of area. If I have enough stuff to be able to go through lineups or what my role would be. Like it was more up in the air. But ultimately, like that season, I had a good season overall. Really good numbers for my first year pitching at the collegiate level. Pitched against really good teams. Earned myself first team all conference. I think I did have the lowest starter ERA in conference at the time. So like just like knowing like as my first year pitching, having like those little awards, like knowing like it kind of kept me on a positive trend, like knowing like hey, like this is your first year pitching, like there's only more to come. But what I didn't realize, like I hadn't faced adversity as a pitcher at all. Like, it was always a lot of highs for me in my first year as a pitcher. It was highs and this past season, my second season, it wasn't pretty at all. Like there's no way other way around it. It wasn't that good, at least on a personal level for me. I know like people would tell me like, it's all right, like and it wasn't how I expect myself to pitch, and I'm kind of glad it happened. Like a lot of people don't want to say like don't want a season like that or like have a year like that, but I'm glad it happened to me. It was a very humbling experience. It taught me a lot about myself, and it taught me a lot about the game and how humbling it is. And I just took it as like this is a humbling situation for you. Learn from it. Don't keep like stay down and don't like try to shy everybody out or don't try to like just put these negative thoughts into yourself. I think that's probably one of the biggest parts of that I had to do as growing as a baseball player and as a pitcher. Like knowing like when things don't go well, like it doesn't mean it's the end of the world. Just kind of just ride the wave and just face the adversity. Because at the end of the day, all storms don't last. So just I was just riding the storm the whole time. I kind of lost my role as the ace. We had another pitcher. He just pitched his butt off this year. It's almost led the state in ERA. He pitched his butt off. And I wasn't afraid to say he was the new ace of the team. It didn't because at the end of the day, I wasn't doing my job. I wasn't pitching like an ace. I wasn't pitching how Colorado Mesa would want me to pitch. So it was just kind of just like keep putting in the work. My thing will come. Like all it takes was one start. To turn my season around. I had a really good start when we went out to play, up north to play the north teams. I pitched against Fresno City. I had a really good start against them, and it kind of just kept give me a positive note. Like, my stuff is still there. It was never necessarily my stuff went down. It was just more of like the battles mentally. Like when I would have a bad start, it would lead into different starts, and it was just more of trying to get myself onto that role and just kind of just relying on my work ethic and knowing that all the work I put in, like there's no reason to not have confidence in pitching. And I think going through all those dark spots in this past season just kind of just gave me more to put into the off season, not even physically but more mentally and how I approach the game and how I go about my business. Because obviously nobody wants to have back to back bad seasons. Nobody like I want this to be my only bad season and just kind of learn from it. But I know eventually there's going to be other bumps in the road. But it was just more about being consistent about it and just learning to, just keep working, putting in the work, and good things will come. And like it never changed my confidence about how the dominant pitcher I know I am. It was just knowing that like just get out there and just be you again. When I'm me and not nobody else, like that's when I pitch to my best. And I'm kind of glad I learned a lot about myself and who I am as a person, because it's only going to keep me going better for, when I move up in the levels.
There you have it, man. I mean, I think you got to go through your lows in order to get to your all-time highs. I mean, I feel like you learned a lot more from your lows than you do from your highs anyways.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Like, a couple years ago when I was also in a dark spot, I didn't know if I wanted to play baseball again, just kind of going through that post like depression with like the surgery injury not knowing what you're going to do. It just that also came back into the back of my head, like hey, you went through all this, like don't let these little bumps in the road affect who you are. You put in the work and just keep going. Just be you. That was pretty much it for me. Just be you and just stay level headed and calm and cool when things aren't going your way and just go about things as a professional.
like that old saying goes, small setbacks or minor setbacks are just setups for big comebacks. I mean,
Right.
that good, well said. So, I mean, what were some of those ways that you overcame adversity? What were some things that you would remind yourself, tell yourself after you'd have maybe one bad outing, or maybe when you saw things going downhill? What were some things that you would maybe tell yourself mentally, or what were some things that you would do to help yourself out?
Yeah, I mean, like a lot of the times it was always like one bad pitch led to like a couple runs, and that just kind of like that would put a little dent in like my confidence on the mound. So I think what I was just like kind of like after the season ended, where I just kind of did like a post analyzation of like how things went and like when things would fall apart. And I think like I would let things get to me too much and just kind of like just told myself for the future like just when somebody back to back hits happen, just get the next out, worry about the next guy. And I think I was just worrying about too much. And the game sped up on me. And when the game speeds up on you, especially in the game of baseball, like, things can turn quick. My five shutout innings turn into five innings, 4 runs, and it goes from a 0 ERA to like probably like a 9 ERA in one pitch, so that was a big part. I knew the stuff was there. I was throwing hard. My off speed was there. It was just being more consistent with it and just trusting my stuff more. It was, and that's another like another positive thing. Like usually when guys have bad years, like it's usually because like their stuff wasn't there. Like I wasn't really getting lit up. It was just walks and bad situations led to a little hit here, a little hit there, and boom, I was out of the game. So just kind of just staying level headed and just worry about one pitch at a time, and just not letting the game speed up on me. Just it kind of just like looking back on it, it was bad statistically, but from the human eye, it wasn't as bad. But there's a lot of things to clean up.
And I mean, you were able to clean them all up, man. I mean, if you really think about it, if you weren't able to clean them up, if Colorado Mesa didn't feel like you were going to have that shot, that opportunity to clean yourself up, and if they didn't feel like you had the capabilities to be able to play in the Division II level, which is still a very good, very reputable division, they wouldn't have given you that shot. They wouldn't have given you that opportunity. So, I mean, the fact that you were able to overcome everything, you're able to become mentally stronger, physically stronger, and still able to come, you know what? I allowed these runs. You know what? I'm gonna get the next couple of guys out and lower down the ERA and get my workload. Let's minimize the workload moving forward. But with you going into Colorado Mesa, what role are you going to be taking on? Have they told you? Are you going to be like, are you going to be coming out of the pen? Are you going to be a starter, middle relief, closer, setup man? What's it looking like?
I mean, when I'm going there, I'm fighting for a starting role, to be a guy in the rotation.
Yes.
You know, but at the end of the day, like I'm not gonna be a selfish guy and only want to do one thing. If the coaches tell me whatever they feel best at to doing, whether it's coming out of the pen or starting, a Friday game or a midweek game, like just go out there and just show what I can do and show them that I'm a guy that can stay in the rotation or I'm a guy that can dominate out of the pen. It's you know you train and you put a lot of work in to be able to step up for the opportunity. And I know like I'm gonna try to take advantage of every opportunity I get to be out there and perform, because a lot of people don't get a lot of opportunities, so you got to make the best of your opportunities. You got that's the name of this game is consistency. Consistency, you can have the best stuff in the world, but if you're not consistent, your role's gonna be uncertain. So I feel like my role, in a perfect world was, to be a starter there and, being one of the main guys in the rotation. But, it's easier said than done. So, just I'm gonna go out there and just, compete at my best and just never let up at any time when I'm out there.
I mean, that's the best you could do. You just got to compete. You got to take it pitch by pitch, and we'll see what the coaching staff ends up putting you as. I mean, that'd be pretty dope. You could be in that weekend rotation and be in there, or I mean, maybe they need you in the high leverage, deeper in the game type of situation. Maybe like in the seventh, eighth, maybe in the ninth inning, they're going to need you to get the last 3 outs, and you end up being with maybe some of the new style of the game. Sometimes they'll put the starter to get the last 3 outs of a game in a game that, hey, we need you to get the last 3 outs. I know you're a starter, but we've seen it before. I mean, we've seen
Right.
starters closing out games, especially in the postseason.
Right, yeah, and that's kind of the conversations we had when I first went, like they see me as a starter and that's what, they offered me to be. But I think things can change. Um, However, I take, it's all honest, it's all up to me to force their hand for me to either be a starter or, a high leverage guy out of the pen. Like it's my job to, tie their hands, and make them have to make that hard decision. That's what we got to do as players. And they're a winning school for a reason. They make the right decisions and they know what's best in their players. And that's I'm just gonna listen to them and just do what they want me to do, whether it's start or come out of a high leverage situation, just I'm ready, it's very exciting to be like ready to get after it with them. And they're a winning school, they're very disciplined, they've got a lot of structure, like it's a lot of winning out there. And I'm really excited to be a part of that culture and like what it takes to reach that level.
Well, hey, man, do me a favor. When you move out there in maybe 3 weeks, 4 weeks, just when you're out there and you're becoming big over there in the Colorado scene, just remember us little guys here in Southern California. Just remember us, all right? I can already see you getting something right out of Colorado Mesa and just continuously growing out there, man. Just keep up the grind and just shout out Sideline Sports Podcast if you can. Just shout out your boy a little bit, give a little love to us over here in LA when you move out there.
Like yeah, show love to Sideline Sportscast. Hopefully one day you're doing a report about me and run it back again.
Well, there you have it, guys. That was Justin Almeda with us here on Sideline Sports Podcast, telling us about the grind, getting the scholarship to Colorado Mesa University, playing some D2, giving us a little bit of background as far as his Cerritos College grind and what's to come, even playing some summer ball for the North Woods League. I mean, it's only one of the most prestigious summer ball leagues out there in the nation. But that's all the time we have left here on Sideline Sports Podcast. We thank you all so much for tuning into this one. If you guys like this episode, please give it a thumbs up. Comment down below to see what other type of content you guys would like to see. We're all in on interviewing local guys that are making some big moves and accepting scholarships out of state, anywhere in general. We are more than happy to listen to what athletes you guys would like to see here on the show. We'd love to get them on, whoever it may be. And of course, hit the subscribe button down below. You never know who you might end up getting here on the podcast. For all we know, it could be Firulais. It could be whoever you guys would like here on the show. But also follow us on social media, on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and on Twitter. Trying to get all the coverage out there for you guys with this long summer season. But once again, on my left-hand side, that was Justin Almeda, the now Colorado Mesa University right-handed pitcher. Justin, thank you so much for coming back on the show, man. I really appreciate you stopping by, man. And again, just don't forget us when you become big.
No, thank you. I really appreciate it. Can never forget where you came from.
There it is, man. I love it. You got to remember the day ones, man. All of our time in the press box there at Cerritos College. But I'm Alex Naveca from Sideline Sports Podcast. If you're not on the sideline, it's not Sideline Sports Podcast, source of your SoCal sports. Thank you so much for tuning into this one. Hasta luego, everybody, and enjoy all of the baseball going on